Hey, cool cats and kittens, this is Miss Cat, and today we're going to talk about coloring. So what I've noticed a lot about young artists is that when they color, they might color their picture really good around all of the little areas that are small and have to do with the subject matter. But when it comes to doing the coloring behind the other stuff, or what we call the background, it becomes very chaotic and very messy. Here's my little Bitmoji of Miss Cat. And you'll notice that sometimes it's just like it's an afterthought. It's like you're just kind of like, you know you want it to be purple, but, you know, whatever. And you might start off doing really good, and then pretty soon it's turning into a hot mess, and it goes into your, and then you get frustrated because it might go into, you're having a hard time getting into the little areas, and you just like, and then you start getting tired, and then pretty soon you're just whatever. Okay, so then you are disappointed with how your picture turns out, and especially, you know, where it's coming in here and it looks messy and everything. So there really is a specific way to do these things, and it doesn't matter what kind of marker you're using. You can make this look really good with just a regular old marker. You'll see that I have some Sharpies here. I have these school stuff here, all the things that you will find in our classroom anyway. So here we go. I'm going to get a different piece of paper with another one of my Bitmojis. All right. These kinds of markers are not good for doing backgrounds. Too much. So there's too much room, too much. But what you can do is you can use these to outline. So let's just say we are doing purple in the background. You could do a nice outline around the figure and get all those nice little details without getting into the hands and all that and being frustrated. Okay, so there we go. That kind of helps take care of some of that. Even if this purple wasn't just the exact same purple as what you're using, at least you have this for your details. Okay, cool. So here we go. Wish my hair that was that long. I don't know if I do wish my hair was that long. It'd probably drive me crazy. All right, so we're just going to do about half of this. So now what you're going to do, move that to the side. You're going to take your bigger marker and you're going to go in one direction. And it just depends on what you're going to do. I'm going to go from side to side. And so now you're just going to go in the same direction. And take your time. The thing is with art, you can't rush it. You just can't rush art. And there we go. And you just continue like that for a while. I'm going to go ahead and put this on speed, and then you can see it in fast motion. All right. Okay, so I spilled my coffee and I dropped on my other thing, so I drew out another one, and on this one you'll notice that I went ahead and did my color in my hair and on my little overalls and stuff, and kind of made it a little bit more. I'll talk about how to do how that looks like hair and stuff later, but we're just going to concentrate on the background. One thing I'm going to tell you too is that with the other marker it was going dry on me, and so make sure that your marker is really wet, really juicy, that has a lot of color in it, and you know when it's dry. So make sure that it's really good and wet. You can go in with a smaller pen. Sorry, forget about my lanyard. You can go in with a smaller marker and kind of get into those little corners if you need to. But the big marker doesn't really do bad if it has one of these sharp points like that. So if it has that, you're in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to make a line around here just because I don't want to go all the way to the edge of the paper. So I'm just going to kind of draw to where my shadow is, and we'll deal with that in a little bit. All right, so now don't be afraid to turn your paper to whatever's most comfortable for you. Lay it on its side and just take your time and begin. And if you need to outline it just a little bit, that's fine. One of the things about this is I learned this when I went to design school. Our professor told us that even if it shows lines like you see here, and make that line thicker, even if it shows the lines, it at least is all going in the same direction, and it just looks a lot neater. And especially for what he called, or what we call mock-ups, or sample art, or the example of what we have in mind for a client or customer, or even in our sketchbooks, and we're just kind of designing and getting the conceptual or concept art together. One thing too is keep rotating your marker, because it gets where it kind of gets dry on one side, and so if you can continue to get it where it's good. You see, this one's kind of dry too, and it's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It's still doing what we need it to do. Wow, that's really getting dry. All right, and I just keep turning it and getting it to work the way I need it to. Sometimes what happens is when a marker kind of sits in your marker box or whatever for a while, what ink or whatever is in there will really saturate the tip, but then after you start using it a little bit, it'll start to dry out. And you can see I went over my little thumb just a little bit. It's okay. We're not going to sweat it. As long as we're all going in the same direction and we're trying to keep it pretty neat and clean, I think that's all that matters. So, but it just looks neater. And yes, it does take more time, but it's okay. Better to do a good job and really take your time with it than to cut corners and make a bunch of scribbly scribbles and you know, not have it look as neat and nice as you imagine it in your head. Okay, so this is really drying out. I'm going to go and get another marker and we'll finish it up. Okay, so obviously what happened, my battery died on the camera, so I ended up having to work a little bit and took the opportunity to finish my little Bitmoji. But anyway, you can see that the ink is much darker now, and that just laying it on its side and getting a nice smooth run, and it's okay if there's like a little bit of an outline to it. It's all right. It's still going to look very neat, very clean, very nice, and it's just going to finish this up and make it look better. And we can touch it up if we need to, like, you know, we could just give it a little run like that. There we go. We're almost on the home stretch, y'all. So here we go. And like I said, if you want it to be darker, you most certainly could go back over it. See how that's getting darker and a little bit smoother. Okay. No, I might want to do a little bit over here. I don't know. But see, you can go back over it and make it look better. Oh, look at this. Hey, hey, hey. That's what's called lights. All right, so I'm going to kind of give this another smooth outlining. Excuse me. I have a froggy throat. And I'm just freehanding it. And there we go. Yes. And do that. Okay. So there you go, folks. That's how you can do that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about markers this whole week, or in the next coming weeks when I do my videos. I'll show you how to do hair so it looks a little bit more realistic. Just how to use those markers. And this is I think this is just a little bit of Sharpie right here, but the rest of this is the school smart markers that we got. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you got a little bit of something out of this. And if there's something you'd like to see, let me know, and we'll try to work with that and show it to you. And so let me get this on the software and edited and uploaded so that you have it this weekend. And like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.